Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well this evening. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield, McCoy Museum Adventures and Fred and Sheila Investigates.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. This video may be of interest to some and some may not. Some it may not concern because everybody doesn't attend church. This is about churches and church security. If you've been watching the news lately, you've noticed where they entered a church and scared some people real bad. Thank the Lord, nothing was done to harm anybody.
Right.
Doesn't always work out like that. We'll go over a case here in a minute that's where 26 people was killed in a church a few years back. Guys, Sheila and I have been teaching firearms a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was a police officer for 40 years. 38 years of that was a certified police firearms instructor with either the police academy here in Kentucky or NRA or both. We're both carry concealed instructors here in Kentucky, Sheila and I, instructor and instructor trainers, where we train other instructors even. So firearms is something we know a little bit about. And while a lot of people may think that church is not a place for them, sometimes may be called for. These are those times. We're living in a time now that
Yes.
none of us ever thought we'd be living in. Whoever thought that when we were kids that if somebody would have told us way back that someday you'll have to carry guns or you'll have to have a security team in your church to make sure the congregation's safe, we would have said, come on now. We don't believe that.
Yeah.
It's what it's come to, guys. Years ago, Sheila and I wrote a book. We never did publish it. Gave it out to some people just more or less for to set some of their security stuff up in their church. And some of them used it. And it was in two phases. One of them was church congregation and the other one's the protection team. Guys, it's came up again, and I believe it's going to continue from the way that they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've started a fad, and they're going to continue, just like they have with the school shootings, how it's progressed throughout the years. Copycats, they see an easy mark, and people, they go for it. They tackle it. On Sunday, November the 5th, an active shooter killed 26 people at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. It's the deadliest attack on a house of worship in the United States. I think that was 2015.
Okay.
I think that was 2015. That right there.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, it's not.
I don't know. It'd be better off to turn it off, maybe.
Oh, okay. That might be
Maybe.
better. Yeah.
Church members wondering if it's safe to attend services now. They were wondering it then, and now they're wondering again.
Yeah.
Sad that churches now have to have security.
Mm-hmm.
I've made some notes over here, Sheila and I have, and we're just going to try to go by them a little bit just to touch base on. But
Okay.
guys, this is about setting up some kind of a security team or some kind of security for your church, for your congregation, to protect your flock. Now, Sheila and I, we realize that a lot of people, especially in the carry concealed now, Kentucky's gone from carry concealed. We still have the carry concealed permit here in Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
and probably 40 other states recognize Kentucky's permit that you can carry a gun in that state with your Kentucky permit. But Kentucky's also constitutional carry now, where you can carry concealed or open. Anybody that carries open carry is not thinking clearly, because Sheila and I have always said that
They'd be a target. That
be a
would be the
target.
first person that they would go towards to obtain their weapon.
Yeah.
So,
You know, you can go to if you're in Walmart and you see somebody carrying a open weapon on their side, walk over to the appliance section, grab a butcher knife. They sell knives in there. Take that knife, come up behind the person with the weapon, take his weapon. Now you went from a unarmed to a knife to a firearm. There's people out there that thinks like this. This is not something new that Sheila and I come up with. There's people that actually, they think like this.
Yeah.
It's undisputable that God protects, but even in the scripture admonishes us to watch and pray. Notice, watch precedes pray. Watch and pray. Bible also says many people perish for lack of wisdom. While another one says heaven helps those who help themselves. Matthew 10:16, behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Harmless as doves. You know, Jesus was in the tabernacle or the temple and got angry.
Yeah. When they were selling stuff and you turned over the tables.
Guys, sometimes we have to. Sheila and I have come up with a thing years ago, and we said, hey, not every church is going to have police officers in it, off-duty police officers or former police officers, military.
Right.
But a lot of churches have people now that carry. They carry concealed, they carry with permits, they carry under constitutional law, but they're armed inside the church.
Right.
Years ago, and we've taught thousands, and they'll probably remember this, anybody we've ever taught, but I used to tell people there's two places I don't carry a gun, in the shower and in church.
Right.
Even as a police officer, I would leave my gun in the car, the vehicle. Just didn't feel right to take a firearm into God's house. Right. Now it feels wrong not to.
Yeah.
Because it's like a school. It's a place where a bad guy would feel comfortable thinking that nobody there, that it's easy prey. It's easy prey. These carry concealed people would be the one that Sheila and I have always had to approach in your church, the ones that carry anyway. They may not have the best training, but they know the law on using deadly force.
That's right.
If they've had to carry concealed class, especially in Kentucky, they know how to clean and shoot and handle their weapons safely. So that would be the ones that I would approach if I was a minister or the board. Or Sheila and I would. That's who we would recommend. Because we've had people in our classes that's excellent shots, safe with their weapons, knowledgeable on the law, wouldn't harm a fly unless they had to, and that's what you would want. And you would want these people positioned in the back of your church, the main back seats.
Right.
Maybe middle ways or in the front. And you want one or two up on the stage, up on where the podium is, looking back. They can see what's coming in, and the two in the back can see what's going up if somebody comes in and darts.
Right.
You need door security.
Yes. Well, not only that, I think these days and times that churches are going to have to start locking their doors. They're going to have to, at a certain time, or wait till they think everyone has arrived, and start locking their doors, keeping them locked. And then if somebody comes up, then maybe, like you said, the door security person can let them in.
Oh, that's great. When church services start, go ahead and lock the door.
Like we do in school.
But we need to have a perimeter. We need to have an armed security team member outside the door, preferably a smoker. Most of your guys stand outside the doors of the churches and smokes on breaks and in between Sunday school and church. But you could have a person there. He could still hear through the door, hopefully, most of the sermon. But his job is he can, like Sheila says, lock the door. But he can have a key. Somebody comes in late, no problem. Everything looks good, and they're just running late. Everything's fine. Unlock the door and let them go on in. They're not going to think twice about it. They just know they're protected.
That's right.
But sometimes people get there late or decide to do something while church is going on,
Mm-hmm.
and that door's unlocked and they just come in and surprise to everybody.
Yeah.
We've got to have door security, perimeter security. It wouldn't even hurt to have another person out sitting in their car that's facing the church, and he's watching the guy that's watching the door. If something happens to him before the perpetrator can get inside, he's already exited his vehicle, and now he's got a secondary there. It's a shame that we have to think like that.
Mm-hmm.
It used to just be maybe one person, maybe two at the most. But now what we saw this weekend, what we saw with that Don Lemon guy, what we saw had nothing to do with journalism, had to do with GBLQT, whatever that stuff is, that garbage that the Bible says is an abomination. That's what it had to do with. It was not journalism. They went there because Christians believe in the Bible and Christians don't believe in that. And he thought he was going to use ISIS and Somalis or anything else to try to, because he's a homosexual. Now it's turned into a group. It's not just one anymore. It's groups. And they're encouraging other groups to do the same to other churches. So if you think it can't happen to you, you might be wrong. If you don't have a security team, you may want to focus on that,
Mm-hmm.
or at least lock the doors.
Yeah.
And if you see a group coming like that, they would have to break into the church to get in there then.
They also might want to consider cameras inside and out in their church, and that way they could have someone sitting like in a security room,
Yeah,
where they can monitor the cameras, and they can see what's going on inside and out.
And it's a shame.
Morning, yeah.
But you're right. It's come to that.
Yeah.
It's come to that. You know, guys, some churches are afraid of liability. Well, what about liability? Well, what about deaths? You know, churches are like anybody else. They're obligated to provide a security, to provide protection to people that visits them. And, you know, there's no saying it's better be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah.
Once that child or that mother or somebody's deceased, there's no bringing them back. An ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure.
Yeah.
We say it's better to be sued than to be dead. Of course, every church would prefer certified police officers, of course. That's not practical. That's not practical most churches don't budget for security. We have security. God's our security. But like it said earlier, sometimes God leaves it up to us to protect ourselves. Use common sense. Let's be real. Let's be practical.
Yeah. Stay alert. Be aware of your surroundings.
Be aware. And that's it. Everybody be aware. If somebody comes in, they don't look, they're not happy. They're not joyful. They look like they're angry or mad or upset.
Nervous.
That might be somebody to watch.
Yeah.
If you've got a good security team, greeters, then they would notice that. That's what they're looking for. They're welcoming everybody into the church. Feel friendly and come on in. But if you see somebody, you know, it's hard to go out and do something like some of these people do, and people not pick up on their facial expressions. It's hard to go out and act like you're all happy when you're going inside to decease somebody, de-life them.
Yeah.
So there may be telltale signs. If you see somebody like that, what does it hurt to pat them on the back, give them some attention, and wherever they sit, go sit beside of them. Give them some company.
Yeah.
They don't know that that's not where you sit regularly.
That's right.
And if they're sitting on the end of the pew Ask them to move over just a little bit. This is where I sit every Sunday. That way you're in between. The person can't just jump up in the middle of service and take off.
Right.
They may be another one. Security personnel come and sit on the other end. So that person has to be able to get out. If he decides to get up in the middle of a service, then
right.
you've got somebody there close to them. It could be something as simple as that. It may not even deal with a firearm. He may just be going to get physical.
Yeah.
Maybe recently divorced. Maybe he's divorced a long time and hasn't got over what happened. And his wife's at that church with a new husband or a boyfriend.
Could be domestics.
Domestics.
You know.
Could not be politics.
Right.
It could just be a domestic, a child custody dispute, a restraining order dispute. Yeah. Every church in the land should provide some training for their congregation. You know, Sheila came up with a good one a while ago. We were talking about this before we done the video, and imagine somebody comes in with a weapon and they start discharging. People that's not on the security team needs to know what to do. The regular members of that church needs to know to
hit the floor.
Hit the floor.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you're in the congregation and you see something going on or you hear something, hit the floor immediately. So you're out of the line of fire in case the security people have to go that route.
That's right.
Yeah.
If they don't have to worry about an innocent bystander, makes it easier on the security staff.
Yeah.
They got enough on their mind trying to watch this person.
Crossfire and
everybody. If you're not part of the security, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. At that point, when you hear something going on that's not right, don't turn around to see where it's coming from or what happened. Hit the floor. Be safe, not sorry.
That's right.
Hit the floor. The security team needs to hit their target.
Yes.
If you shoot 3, you hit 3. If you shoot 1, you hit 1. But don't shoot wild. You cannot. You have to practice. These people are going to have to go out to the range. They're going to have to shoot close quarters. They're going to have to shoot 10, 12, 15 yards away. Doesn't require a good shot. It's mostly going to be close encounters.
Right. Like most situations are in a home invasion within 21 feet.
Exactly.
You know, so it's basically the same thing in a church.
If you've got somebody at each end of each aisle
to cover it.
Yeah. Then they're not going to be no further than that away from each other. The churches that we go to.
Right.
We don't go to great old big huge churches, but if you do, then you have to have more security. You have to have more people.
That's right.
You've got to watch out for what if you're the regular security team and you train once a month or whatever it is, and you know what you're doing. You know who the other members are. But what if somebody else shows up visiting church that day and they carry? They're law-abiding, carrying either constitutional carry or have their permits, and they're carrying. And all of a sudden something breaks out and they think they're going to save the day and they pull their weapon to take out the bad guy. But one of the security staff sees them pulling a weapon and automatically thinks that, well, they must be with him. There's so many variables. There's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many, and that's why you have to have training.
Right.
You have to have level-headed people. And you have to think of everybody's safety. You have to think outside the box. What could happen?
Right.
Classroom instruction, legal liability, safety with their weapon, concealment and cover. Guys, there's cover and concealment.
Okay.
Cover and concealment. Would a church pew stop a bullet? Would the podium stop a bullet? Would the doors coming into the chapel stop a bullet? Probably not. Probably not. There's cover and concealment. Concealment, where a person can hide.
Conceal means to hide.
Conceal means to hide. And cover means something that will protect you from a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get cover, that's what you want. You want to take cover where you got something that will protect you. A lot of people in home invasions, they know their home. They know where the hallway's at. Somebody breaks in their door. They know it's not their children. They know either they've peeked out or they saw a camera or something, and they know it's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming down the hallway. There's nothing wrong with going 2, 3 rounds every 12 inches or so, boom, 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 down that hallway. It's drywall. It's drywall. Those bullets go through drywall. You don't have to see your target. If you know somebody's on the other side of that wall, now that's a green screen. That's not really brick behind us.
Right.
That's
I
drywall.
think they know that.
But if you know that that's drywall in between you and them, you can shoot through the drywall.
Right.
Say the person gets back to where the bathrooms are, that little petition before you come into the church. They may be behind a wall there, and you're waiting for them to stick their head out or see some part of their body.
Mm-hmm.
Phooey on that. You can see their head or their hat or something sticking out. You know where they're standing. Back up about 6 inches. Shoot through that wall. You'll get them. You'll get them. It's nothing but paneling or drywall.
Right.
Studs. If you hit a stud, move over and shoot again into the wall. You'll get them. Principles of marksmanship, legal and justified use of force, loading, unloading. This is things that these guys have already had in a concealed carry class. They know all this. Proper decision making,
Yeah.
close quarters, shooting in close quarters inside of a building. Our goal is to provide you with knowledge on protecting yourselves and your fellow worshipers. You've got to have, it's not just a security team, 4 guys, 6 guys, whatever it might be, but their wives may want to be involved. They may, there's things for everybody. There's doors, the back doors, the Sunday school doors, the
that need to be
kitchen
locked.
doors that needs to be locked.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, babe.
And you might consider putting alarms on the doors and windows that are out of sight. So if you hear an alarm go off, that you'll know that it's nobody in there and that it's
You want
probably
somebody that's taking care of door security in the
Right.
back. When church service gets ready to start, they
Mhm.
go lock their
Everything
doors, put
down.
their windows down, lock everything. And you know that you've got a person that's so dependable
Mhm.
that that's their job, that she does that every Sunday night, every prayer meeting night. She always makes sure that those doors are locked. That's her job. That's her duty. Because if she fails to perform and make sure of that, she could be responsible for the death of a lot of people. How would that make a person feel? But there's husbands and wives, there's teamwork. Everybody can help out in this
Mhm.
situation.
They might just have to do like the school system and start practicing drills like that on what to do and where to go and all this and that in order to keep everybody safe.
That's a good point. And that's what it's coming to.
Yeah.
Again, we saw that this past Sunday, guys. We saw that this past Sunday. Don't let this Sunday come around without doing something, having something in place.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just one person in the back or one person standing outside at the door. We know it's sad. We know it's not something any church wants to talk about, or the ministers or the deacons, but first line responders proficiency. And it may be something as simple as an intoxicated person. It may be something as simple as political, where the political people comes to the church. You got to know how to de-escalate.
Mm-hmm.
De-escalate. Get them back out of the church. It's your church. It's God's house.
That's right.
Take charge within the church walls. And of course, it's the church's goal to prevent volatile situations and not become physical. Somebody in the church beyond the team to call.
Yeah.
to call 911 because everybody thinks I'm not going to call 911. Surely somebody else has called by now.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's thinking that nobody's called 911. Actually, most people's probably got their phone up trying to film for YouTube or
do that.
somebody be a designated 911 caller.
Right.
And you, as soon as it happens, something, anything, if you think it's going to happen, you go ahead and call 911.
Mm-hmm. And just leave your phone there. If you can't talk or you're afraid of talking, just lay it down so they can hear what's going on.
Yeah. Some people just wants their 15 minutes of fame, like happened the other day. 15 minutes of fame. Hopefully the justice system will step in, and if they'll make a example out of these people here,
Mm-hmm.
this may be something that doesn't happen as often. If they don't use these people for an example, then prepare your churches and your congregation for this to happen more and more.
Mm-mm-mm.
If you're one of the chosen ones to protect the others, make sure you don't let them down. Make sure you didn't take that security position or title just for the title only, just to say, yeah, I'm on the church security team. Make sure that you're security.
Don't get complacent.
Make sure that you're willing to approach and defend and even give your life to protect the other ones because they're counting on you. These other security people are counting on you. If you're supposed to watch the left flank while he watches the right, or he watches the front, or he's watching the perimeter, then you need to cover. He needs to know that
Mhm.
left flank is covered. A suspicious man walks into a church on a Sunday morning. You have a bad feeling about him, but you don't want to be judgmental or rude, so you just go about your business. Moments later, he pulls out a bang bang and opens fire on the sanctuary. You watch helplessly as he savagely kills innocent men, women, and children.
Mm.
What will you do now? How will you live with yourself knowing that you could have stopped it? Have you said something or done something? Sadly, most churches don't plan for this type of horrific event until someone gets injured or killed. Guys, when you see somebody like that, see something.
Say something.
That's Sheila's. She
Yes,
said that.
it's
She said that
right.
before it ever become famous. See something, say something. Isn't it terrible to think that you could have stopped something or prevented something, but because you didn't say anything or you didn't want to feel like I shouldn't get involved here, I shouldn't say nothing. It's none of my business. Maybe it is. Maybe you're the very bird that can save something bad from happening. Even maybe the bad guy's having a bad day that he's not thinking rational on a normal day. He wouldn't do this.
Right.
You may save him from going to hell or from going to jail. You may save him on that particular day. He may get arrested, but you may have saved his life. He's got time to
Think.
think. Guys, I'm skipping over a bunch here. We're just not going to hold you on here. It's already been 28 minutes.
Well, one thing that we talked about is how you handle somebody. Remember, if they come into the church, if you're loud, they're going to get loud and defensive. To stay calm.
Yeah.
And try your best to walk them out. If they're not going to be calm, then that's when the congregation should get up and they should move to a safer area. They should leave
Thank you, babe. Yeah.
where they're at. So he doesn't have an audience. He or she doesn't have an audience to
Don't be afraid,
drag him in.
especially if they're not armed,
Mhm.
to go ahead and evacuate the church. Let the people go out the back. Let the rest of the people so nobody's hurt or children's not traumatized.
Yeah.
Look at these
Yeah,
kids
exactly.
on the news that's sitting there crying and screaming and they're scared to death.
Yeah.
Rest of their life, they're never going to forget that Sunday morning when they was in God's house and these people come in
Stormed in. Yeah.
and scared them to death.
It's sad.
They're never going to forget that. That's a bad moment. I think some people's going to pay for that someday. God will have his day. But like Sheila says, and Sheila's always been good about that because she's always worked with a lot of special needs kids and different things. And And Sheila's always said, don't get loud. You can't,
Mhm.
if a child gets loud, you don't try to get louder. You get lower
Right.
and try to calm them down.
If you get louder, that's just going to agitate them and make them get louder. Some children don't like noise. And so if you're loud, then man, that'll just set them off. So the best thing to do is remain calm, talk slowly to the child, and then that will calm them down and they'll be able to do what you want them to do.
Once again, the old adage, God helps those that helps themselves. To us, that means people of faith need to step up to protect their house of worship. While there's no way to completely protect people exercising their right to religious freedom from the acts of determined people with evil intent, at least you've got some kind of a plan in place by some members of the congregation to protect the other members. They're shepherds. They're shepherds watching over the flock, just as the minister preaches to his flock. Once again, develop a security plan.
Practice,
Somebody's monitoring the parking lot. What, babe?
practice, have your drills as much as possible so that you will know what to do in case it arises.
And then remember the fight or flight. The fight should be with the security, the designated security people.
Mhm.
Unless something happens in a place where you just happen to be in an aisle seat, somebody comes by and don't be afraid to act. Don't be afraid to act, even if you're not a member of the church's security team. The church's security team, especially if there's a weapon ever drawn, should have some kind of a
ID tag.
ID tag inside their shirt, where as soon as it happens, they can throw it out with this blue card or something, or a wristband on that shows up, a fluorescent wristband that shows that they are security, something that signifies that it's okay for them to have a firearm. Guys, we're not gonna go into all this because it goes and goes. And I just seen that pass by. I'll comment on that. When I was 17 years old, I joined the Marine Corps. I went to Parris Island, went from Parris Island to Cape Pendleton, California, where I went to Anaheim, California, where Disneyland's at. Went to Disneyland. That's back in the 70s when remember every Sunday you'd get together and you'd watch Wild Kingdom and you'd have Walt Disney on there or something. Wonderful World of Disney. And then Wild Kingdom, I think, come on. It was a family tradition for our family to sit down and watch Wild Kingdom and Disney. You can't watch Disney with the family anymore. Disney's gone. I feel you. But I went from California to Florida. I stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. And of course, went to Orlando to Disney World. So I've been to Disneyland, Disney World. Went to Disney World at 17, 18 years old. And we got there. There's probably 8 or 10 of us Marines in a group. And there was some other guys. And we got there and we got in a scuffle with some other guys. And lo and behold, here comes their security team. We didn't know it then, but Disney World's security team is also consists of
their characters.
Goofy got a hold of me. It's funny, we just taught a headlock today, and if I would have known what I did then, I would have probably put Goofy back, but I wasn't. I was a kid, a young kid, and but Goofy got me in a headlock, and as they're walking all of us towards the gate, both groups of people, he's giving me noogies or whatever they're called. And these kids and people's watching, and they're thinking that Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and all these people's just playing with these Marines. They wasn't playing. They was security. They were taking us to the gate without even causing a disturbance.
That's great.
So I got beat up by Goofy at one time in life.
Well, I mean, the kids seen that, they probably thought that was funny and laughed and had no idea.
As you got older and after you look back, you think how smart that was without causing a disturbance.
Yeah.
CCDW carriers who may be in attendance, train once a month. Like Sheila said, get your security staff and train at least once a month.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you don't only have Sunday Afternoons, you've got Sunday night service. You've got Wednesday night service.
Exactly.
Make sure
Yeah.
somebody's there.
Mhm.
Unsure of a
Right.
person, sit down beside of them. Sit on each side of them. Make them feel welcome.
Sure.
Don't be afraid to hug them when in doubt. When you're hugging them, thanking them for coming to church, feel him for bulges. See if he's got anything underneath his coat if it's wintertime and he's got a coat on. Outside security's a prime. You have to have outside security. If you can stop a threat before it gets inside, that's even better.
Yeah.
Door locks once service starts, like Sheila says, security outside. Latecomers get in with the key.
Yep.
And guys, Sheila, what else you got?
I think that's it. I think we covered pretty much everything that we could think of, really.
If you don't have a security team at your church, get you a security team.
Yes, please do.
There's older, wiser people. Don't wait till 2 or 3 or 4 or 26. In that one case, they killed 26 people before somebody finally went and got a firearm from the neighbor or somebody.
Yeah.
And come back and
acted.
Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your church. Don't let that be your children or grandchildren. Or
Yeah.
we can prevent some things. Some things don't have to happen.
That's right.
Some things is not ungodly. Some things is not. God doesn't want us to be sacrifices. God's in charge of our lives. When we were in the womb, we were appointed a time to die.
The hair on your head is numbered.
Thank you guys for listening to us. Hope we helped just a little bit. Just maybe we said one thing that, and if nothing else, and you go to church, don't be afraid to carry.
No.
Constitutional state here in Kentucky.
Keep it concealed.
Constitutional carry. Conceal it. Don't brandish it. Don't wave it. Don't let nobody know you got it. But if you need it, and guys, try to set in places where you can, where you're spread out around the church. The men, the able-bodied men. Spread out. Don't everybody huddle up together. If a person's got a automatic or semi-automatic, spread out.
That's right.
Have a plan. As long as you've got a plan, Sheila's always said, like having a firearm. It's better to have it
and not need it as to need it and not have it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm
better
sitting
to,
here listening to you and I'm,
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else we can say.
No, just we hope this helps in some little way, like you said, for sure. Maybe they'll watch this, people will, and then start their own security team, and maybe it'll help.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Sheila,
guys. We hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye. God bless.